going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining the podcast tonight on this lovely Saturday evening. I hope you guys are staying warm where you are. Hopefully the temperatures are warming up. I know here still in Chicago we're buried by snow, as I saw Andy saying in the comments. I want to give a shout out to a few people that stopped by here early in the chat. We got Brett Sucks. What's up, Brett Sucks? Papa Moslow, Sunny Bermuda, Pacific Northwest Lawns, Super TA, Elevated Lawnscapes, Lawn Journeys. What's up, Russ? How you feeling, buddy? Let's see. Andy's Outdoor Adventures, The Lawngineer, Lawn Care Dabbler. What's up, Lawn Care Dabbler? How you feeling, buddy? So if this is your guys' first time stopping by this podcast, pretty much what we do here is we get to know some of the lawn care freshmen, and it probably comes as no surprise that we have the turf mechanic here, the lawn and life, and Jason SEIBERLICH. All these guys have done a fantastic job this year, and I'm super excited to welcome them here on this 5th episode of Freshman in Class. So without further ado, what's going on?
Good evening. How we doing?
How's it going, guys?
Hey, thank you guys so much for joining in. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Sweet. So, what you guys been up to today? Planning for your springtime or what?
I've been planning for spring for a month and a half.
Oh, I know you, Brian. I see you all the time out there planning for spring, man. Dude, I always said this, and I said this before. If there's anybody in the lawn care community that works their butt off, it's you, man. I swear, every time I open up YouTube, you got a new video out there.
Every other day.
Nice,
That's
man.
crazy.
How many videos you got so far? Like 200 or something?
No, not quite that high. I'm pushing 160. I don't think I'm quite there yet.
Oh, nice.
Damn.
Yeah, I took some time off there in December and January and only put one out every third day.
Nice. So if you guys don't know who's in the live stream right now, under me we got Jason SEIBERLICH out of Wisconsin, and then right next to me we got Brian Mounts, aka the Turf Mechanic, and then we got Chris, aka the Lawn and Life. So if you guys don't mind, can you share a little bit with the group about yourselves? Jason, why don't you tell us first?
All right. Well, yeah. Jason SEIBERLICH. I'm from southeastern Wisconsin, so fighting off all of the. We got about 13, 14 inches of snow on the ground currently, and yeah, kind of picked up this property that I work on from previous owner that left it completely neglected. I wanted to track the progress that I was able to make for myself, and I figured if I was going to record it, a bunch of people already had YouTube channels, I might as well give it a shot, and so here I am.
Awesome, man. Well, you know, I've been watching you for a while now, and I know that you've had a lot of vlog style content lately, but I heard you're going to be switching that up and making it more tutorial based. But real quick, I want to give a super special shout out to the Grass Factor. Oh, sorry, that was the wrong one. I meant to do that one because he always does it on his show. The Grass Factor. He's got that same thing. What's going on, Matt Martin? How you feeling, brother? Striper Man. What's up, Striper Man? Yeah, nice. So yeah, Jason, you've been doing a lot of like vlog type content in your lawn, but now you're trying to make it more tutorial based. Can you tell us a little bit about your plan going into 2021?
Yeah, sure. So I have kind of 3 different programs that I've started. So I have my front yard is it's about 7,000 square feet. So I'm doing kind of a phased renovation up there. So I'll have the last bit of that this year and kind of do a more how to go about killing off the existing yard, getting it ready to seed, and then seeding. In my side yard, I'm running as low cost and easy of a program as possible. And I would be doing that at my brother-in-law's house as well. And that'll be video by video, every application, how to figure out how much you need. And then the backyard, I'm just trying to make as nice as possible with what exists. Also back there, I have a putting green that I'm trying to make into a real grass putting green. So kind of following along with how to do that. I'll probably still do a fair bit of vlog type content because I do enjoy making it. And that's kind of what I like watching other people do. But yeah, going to try to break everything up a little bit more to be more useful to the viewer and less just me walking around talking to myself.
Sweet, sweet. Thanks. And then Chris, you're in Alabama, right?
Correct. Yep. I'm
Nice, nice.
I'm about 20 minutes south of Birmingham, Alabama. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can you tell us a little bit about your channel and your lawn?
Oh, well, my primary lawn is Bermuda. It's overseeded right now with perennial ryegrass. I have just on my front and side yard, a total, it's only about 2,600 square feet. So it's not that big of a lawn. I have a huge backyard, but it's completely covered with trees. So if I stay at this house, I've lived at this house for about 6 years. That's going to be a project. Trees cut down, get a nice lawn back there. So I'm going to be transitioning back to Bermuda probably here in the next month or so.
Do you have a common Bermuda or a hybrid Bermuda?
I have mostly hybrid. There is a little bit of common sprinkled in there, but it primarily is hybrid Bermuda. It was here when I bought the house 5-6 years ago.
Sweet, sweet. I want to give a special shout out to a couple people that I saw pop in around the house with Pat. What's up, Pat? How you feeling? Striper Man, Mujahid, and we got Keep Off the Grass live cast in the building. What's going on, guys? So I do want to make a special announcement. Next week, February 27th, we're going to have the Keep Off the Grass live cast kind of crossover episode going on. So we're going to have a couple of the guys from the good old KOTG over there, and they're going to be stopping by on the episode, and maybe we can learn a little bit more about their podcast, about their live stream, get to know them a little bit more. So I look forward to doing that. By the way, thanks KOTG for stopping by. Much appreciated. Sweet, sweet. Hey, so are you close to sunny Bermuda down there, Chris, or what?
Yeah, he is about probably, I'd say, an hour south of me. So we have some stuff planned coming up this season. We're kind of keeping it on the down low, but we're going to do some videos together, I think.
On the down low, as in it's not planned yet? No, I'm just kidding.
So
No,
we're going to see. Oh yeah, but he's about an hour south of me.
Sweet, sweet. So we have a question here from Backyard All Day, and this has kind of been a question. You know, I'm no turf grass pro, so maybe you can help us out since most of us are cool season guys here. Backyard asked, how do you know if it's hybrid or common Bermuda?
Well, I'm definitely no expert. From what I've seen, the experts talk about, the main thing is the difference in grass blades. I'm sure there's a lot more involved with that. From what I know, though, there's the common Bermuda has a wider grass blade, I believe, and the hybrid is a smaller grass blade. Is really all I can really say about that.
Nice, nice. And then, Brian, you're in Oregon, is that right?
Yeah, I'm in Oregon. I'm in South Oregon. I'm in the part of Oregon nobody knows anything about.
Oh, okay. You're not like over there in like Yuppieville?
No. We're a good 4.5, 5 hours away from Portland, southeast.
Oh, okay, cool. So you're in the Pacific Northwest. Are you familiar? Do you ever talk to Nate or anything like that? I know he's up in Washington over there.
Yeah. Actually, I think he's in the Portland area. I could be wrong. We have on Facebook we've messaged back and forth a couple of times. It's been a while, but he's a good 5 hours away from me.
Oh, sweet, sweet. I want to give a shout out real quick to Kenny Cooper. What's up, Kenny? How you feeling, brother? But yeah, that's totally awesome, guys. You know, the simple fact on this live stream that we're able to get guys from literally all across the nation. I mean, we have like all four corners of like the United States here. I think that's awesome that we can do that.
Absolutely.
I see over here that Pacific Northwest Lawns. Yeah, he's in the building too, so that's cool, man. Represent the Pacific Northwest.
That's right.
But yeah, guys. So what are you guys doing to keep yourself busy here in the wintertime?
Well, like I said, I overseeded with Berenbrug RPR, so that's the first time I've ever overseeded. So that's kept me busy with some content and learning how to do that. And now I got to learn I'm reading up and asking a lot of smart people what's the best way to transition back. So I've been staying busy with that the whole winter. I overseeded late October, and that's been keeping me busy.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I know, you know, when it comes to seeding with perennial ryegrass, does it just die off in the summertime? Is that how it works? Or?
It would eventually. It does not get like super hot here where I live in Alabama till early May. So what I think I'm going to do, I've talked to nice AZ lawns, and I've talked to Alan Hain about it too. Mostly what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kill it off with that MSM turf, but I'm gonna leave a small section and just scalp it low, and then just fertilize it heavy with nitrogen, and see that small section how it transitions back to Bermuda. But so next year that'll let me know if I want to overseed again, because I don't want to keep putting a bunch of chemicals on the lawn every year.
So now that you've had a taste of the cool season life, man, what do you think?
It stripes nice. I know you're going to ask later on how I got into lawn care. It's a funny story about striping Bermuda, but yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful grass. I always joke about Bermuda being the alpha grass and all that, but I love the perennial ryegrass. It's a beautiful grass for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely, man, and it definitely stripes good for sure. How about you, Brian?
What am I doing to keep busy?
Yeah.
Oh man,
I know you're making videos, but how are your grass trials going? I know you're testing a lot of seed.
So let's see, going all the way back to July last year, I started some trials on tall fescue, and then I moved into turf type and K31, and then a little bit later into the fall, I started growing in pots. We're talking in like pots. I started growing all of the main fine fescues. And the plan, Chris, was to, I mean, it was one of my many ideas, was to start doing some Bermuda in the garage over the winter. And that just never panned out. But now I still got all those fescues going. They're out in the garden. They're fully established. But now I'm doing, what is it? KBG. I've got 2 different Kentucky bluegrasses, a mix going. I've got Midnight, so kind of a mono there. And then I've got some perennial rye in a few different pots. I've let all my tiny little pots, if anybody out there saw my video where I was like trying to germinate perennial rye in various temperatures. So basically I thrive on these just experiments. I really like trying things out and filming it. You learn a lot doing that, and it brings up questions that you would never think of before the experiment. So then it just helps expand your knowledge, or at least my knowledge.
I've kind of noticed in your videos, like it looks like you live in like a mountainous area. Like what's your climate like over there, where you are?
We are.
It looks kind of dry, almost.
Yeah,
like
it's arid. Yeah, so if you're familiar with Oregon geography, you've got the main interstate that goes north and south. So from Portland, you just go straight south to California. Everything you don't have to go more than 30 miles to the east of that freeway, and it becomes mountainous. And then once you get to the other side of the kind of the main mountain range, it's kind of just high desert. So it's kind of like northern Nevada, probably a lot like Idaho. Not that I've ever gone that far. I've never gone out there, but yeah. So we get our rainy season is kind of November to about February, and then it's pretty dry for the rest of the year. Lots of sun too.
Nice. I know you made a video on the K31. That video kind of blew up for you, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I mean, the way that I make video, obviously, I already mentioned I try to do a lot of them, and I try to stay ahead of the season. And I know that's contrary to the way that a lot of creators work, but I try to stay ahead of the season. So I knew in the summer that overseeding and seeding time happens in the fall. So to be ahead of it, I needed to start planting some things in the summer. And the only way really I could think of doing that was to start K31 in pots in July. So
is that a pasture grass, if I'm not mistaken?
K31, there are.
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, there are some old K31s. That are extremely pasture grass. We're talking dating back to the 1800s. There are some different versions of K31. Now, I'm not I don't know enough to really sit there and say the difference between the old school Kentucky 31. And forgive me here, but it's not Kentucky 31 until 1947 or something like that, when when so and so discovered it. But there's some old fescues, I guess, that date back into the 1800s. Anyway, somewhere around like the 70s, 1970s is when the turf types came out, and they're just kind of new versions. So basically, there's a progression of fescues that have happened over the past 150 years. And I mean, you can go and Google some of these things and find lots of references to it. But when I started, I didn't really know because I don't have fescue in my lawn. So that's the irony. Is the
you have mostly
fescue
KBG,
really,
right?
I have, yeah. Our lawn was sodded about 3 years ago, maybe 3.5 years ago. We moved in this house. We had like some major landscaping. Like we brought in like 60 tons of boulders to build up a flat area for the lawn. There wasn't. We're on a hillside, so we didn't have a lawn. So the landscapers put in sod, and it was before I ever thought about the concept of choosing a grass type. So it's kind of just the contractor's choice. It's like a perennial rye, Kentucky bluegrass mix.
Yeah.
But even to this day, I've never been able to get from that contractor what he put down.
Sweet,
So-
sweet. Real quick, I want to give a super special shout out to my boy Ron Henry. What's up, Ron? Thanks for stopping by, dude. And then Jason, I know that you had a seeding project last summer, right? You like seeded
Yes.
right in the middle of summer. How did that go?
Yeah, the first one was actually my most successful seeding project so far, and I seeded July 15th. And then last year I did the next phase like mid to late May, and both of those went really well. And then I did a third section. So I'm doing about like 1,500 square feet at a time because it's what I don't have irrigation in the front. So it's just whatever I'm able to get water on without having to move and drag sprinklers around. And also kind of an experiment to see if you seed the same grass seed at multiple times, do they blend together? Does it look stupid? And so far it's working. The third section I did like September 5th, I seeded, I think. And that one with the climate here didn't quite get up before winter, but I think enough that it should make it and then fill in this year.
Sweet, man. You know, I was a little bit on the edge of my seat when I was doing my fall renovation this year because I ended up seeding my KBG like towards the beginning of August. And I don't know if you remember Jason. Jason lives pretty close to me. You know, he's just right
Yep.
up there north in Wisconsin. But we had like a crazy heat wave, and it was like 105, 106 degrees for like 2 weeks straight. But thank God, you know, with the proper irrigation and staying consistent, everything worked out.
It didn't rain here this last year. Like that's not a thing that happens in this part of the world. It rains constantly, but it like from August until the end of the year, it didn't rain. It was brutal.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about the snow too because the snow's been on the ground for a long time, and with the temperatures we're having, I don't see it really melting too much. I know it's gonna hit like 37 as a high this week, but it's gonna be on the ground for a hot minute.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think we'll be treated to the same early spring that we got in 2020.
Sweet,
No,
sweet.
y'all had a mild early part of the winter though. So
Yes. I mowed the putting green. It was like 55 on like December 10th or something. It was absurd.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, Chris, I want to recognize you real quick. You just hit the 1K, am I right?
Yeah, I hit it. I appreciate it. I hit it. I guess probably about a month
Congratulations,
ago,
man.
but I appreciate it. Yeah, probably about a month ago. I think I'm up to 1,050, something like that. Though it's been a slow process.
I noticed that you like vlogging a lot with your family and things like that. But is that how you originally started off doing YouTube?
No, it was not. I originally had no plans of having my children in, and they just seemed to always work their way into videos. Especially
Tell
my
me about
son. I wish my son was here, but because he's the star, he's turning into the star of the channel. But no, and then it just kind of progressed into that, you know. So people seem to like it. That's one of the most positive feedback I get is kind of how they like incorporating the family aspect into it. So.
Dude, I totally agree with you, man. Every time I'm in my lawn and I'm filming and everything, just the kids slowly creep into the video. You know, it's like, I think their moms are up to it. You know, they like to follow us.
Where I finally gave up is last year. I was doing a video, trying to film a video of putting some iron down, and I'm videoing, and I got two daughters, you know, and then one daughter comes up yelling at the other daughter. And I said, "What is wrong?" And she said, "Well, your sister's trying to hit me. My sister's trying to hit me with a shovel." So I said, I said, "All right." And then everybody just seemed to like it. So I just said, "Forget it." And then still try not to have them in every single video, but what can you do?
Nice, man. Well, congrats on your growth, man. With YouTube. What would you say you've learned, since you started doing YouTube specifically?
Just if you don't feel like making a video, don't make a video. I mean, I can tell if I haven't put any effort in the video just watching it. And honestly, I'm kind of the guy that just wings it. Honestly, you can probably tell that. I mean, I don't plan a ton. I know what I'm doing in the lawn, but if I feel like filming, I just get out in video and just have fun. Everybody always says don't try to act like some of these big YouTubers. You don't need to do that. That's I've learned that along the way. Just be you. Where I started having the most success is when I just was myself and just I'm a simple guy and just a family guy, and that kind of incorporated in my videos, and that's when I started seeing a little bit of growth, a little. So.
Sweet. Real quick, I'm gonna say goodnight to my daughter, Chris. If you don't mind, can you ask one of these gentlemen a question about their lawn?
Can I?
Yeah. Sorry to put you on the spot, but I just gotta say goodnight real quick.
How often do y'all, during your peak season, how many often a week do you cut your grass?
This last year, I made it a goal that I was going to cut twice a week, and I held pretty close to that. The only time I stopped is, like I said, we had a lot of uncharacteristic heat for up here, and then I'd leave it alone until it either rained or it cooled down or I couldn't ignore it anymore. But I was pretty good to twice a week.
Yep.
Yeah, I was about there too. There was a few weeks in there where I probably only did it once. We had a baby, like a newborn baby in April. So somewhere in that July, early August time frame when the wife went back to the day job, some of those weeks were a little hard to get out there twice.
Yep.
Certainly benefited from the fact that I was home, so I could just pop out at lunch and mow and come back in. So that was a nice touch as well.
I know my neighbors because my wife, of course, I'm sure everybody's wife does the same thing. It says, "Didn't you just cut the grass this week?" My wife still says that, and I know my neighbors probably think, "Well, my gosh, how many times is he gonna cut his grass?" So I'm 2 or 3 times a week. I have Bermuda, and it likes to be low, so twice a week at the least.
Honestly, I always think about that. That's the hardest part about cutting it low, whether you're reel or rotary. The lower you go, the more often you actually have to do it. So I'm like, I got 4 kids here at the house, so getting out twice a week sometimes is hard, just because the temptation there is to get that grass a little bit taller.
And y'all have a lot bigger lawns than me. Like I said, I only have 2,500 square feet, so I can cut mine I can double cut mine in 30, 45 minutes. So I mean,
yeah, I first started in this yard, and all of the area that has to be cut currently is about 17,000 square feet, and all I had was a 21-inch Honda, and it took 2 hours of just absolutely sweating.
Yeah, I kind of got the same thing down on the front, which is rarely featured in any of my videos, is a very large lower portion of our hill, which is all just rough kind of field grass. And every, 2 to 3 weeks, I'll go out there. And I did the same thing when I moved in here. I just, back in the day, I had just my one lawnmower, and I just go down there, and it was like a 2.5 hour job. It was
I'm
rough.
so blessed because my son, he's 9, he loves to cut the grass. So we fight really over who's going to cut the grass. Yeah. So mine has no problem getting cut. I'm blessed.
I don't know how old your kids are, Chris. But I literally bought, it's behind me, I don't know if you can see it. I bought a lawnmower just a few weeks ago for my 9-year-old son. So he's going to go out and cut the grass with me. It's a little 14-inch battery thing. It literally weighs 27 pounds or something like that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
If my son's watching this, he will hit me up on that as soon as he gets to the house. So
yeah.
Sweet. Lawn and Life, you have Bermuda. I noticed that you cut it with your Honda lawnmower a lot, right?
Yeah, that's what I have. I have one of those Honda self-propelled rotaries.
How do you feel cutting the Bermuda with rotary? Because I don't know. I've heard people saying that you got to cut it with reel, but I don't. Like I said, I don't know too much about it. But your
Well,
lawn seems to look good.
I mean, I think Bermuda originally, was for like golf courses and stuff like that. That's where it's primarily for. But, I have not dipped into the real mowing yet. I cut mine. I'm gonna be doing a leveling project coming up in around May,
Nice.
but I cut mine, about 1.5, and it looks good to me. I mean, it does not look neat and clean as real mode, but I mean, it looks. People tell me all the time, it looks smooth and looks good at 1.5 inches. So, I like it.
Nice.
If I could throw something in there, I feel like regular people who aren't, like fanatics about their lawn, when they see 1.5 inch grass, they literally think short. So like we get into this, like, I don't know, this revolving door of thinking, oh, well, I'll just take it down an extra 1/8 of an inch so that I can wow the other grass guys. But for real regular people out there, 1.5 is crazy low, and most rotary mowers don't go lower than that. I mean, that's the bottom.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, Jason. You just got into the real mowing game. You still got that Jacobson, or did you sell it yet?
No, I still have it. I'm gonna fight through it and see if it is really trash or whatever. But it's what I have, and it works. And I think there's something, either bearings or something in the reel itself that needs some love, because it just doesn't spin overly freely.
Yeah.
But other than that, it works, and it's gonna keep working. And I can always fall back on that. I have a 10-blade manual McLean walk behind that I can kind of fall back on, and if it stops working.
Sweet. Real quick, I want to give a super special shout out to Aldo Beltran. What's up, Aldo? This is a guy over there in the Lawn Forum Discord all the time. I see him. I know he's an aspiring lawn care creator, and he's thinking about starting his own channel this season. So you guys be on the lookout for Aldo, man. I know he's going to be start making videos here pretty soon. What's up, Aldo? Thanks for stopping by, dude. But yeah, that's cool. I was talking to Brett's Grasscapades during our podcast, and he was telling me that the Jacobsons, they have like a magnetic bed knife on the bottom. Is that true?
I haven't looked at it, but yeah, I was watching that too. It was like the day after I bought it, or like a week after I bought it, and he just trashed Jacobson reel mowers for like a half hour. Like, cool, perfect.
That was like literally the day you bought it, right?
It was, if not the day of, it was within a week of after I bought it.
Is yours magnetic though on the bottom, or is it like attached?
I
with
don't
bolts?
know.
Oh yeah,
I haven't looked. Yeah, I haven't looked close enough to know for sure if it's bolted on or if it's magnetic.
Yeah, I remember he was saying something like he used to mow his lawn, and like the next thing you know, like the bed knife would be shot across the yard.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, dude, is that how bogus the Jacobson mowers are?
I hope not.
Dude,
But,
speaking of recalls, man, you heard about this recall with the new snow blowers?
I did see
Watch
that.
out. Don't drop your limbs.
Yeah, dude, tell me about it, man. That's some scary stuff, man. But yeah, that's cool, dude. So I look forward to doing that. Over there you got like a putting green going on, right, Jason?
Yes.
I know. I know you jumped on that train. How's it going?
Good. So and Chris, if you're looking to get into real mowing, basically I bought one of the and I would recommend this for anybody. I bought one of those like $80 Great States 5-blade things from Home Depot, brought it home. It was like, I want to see if this is even something I could do. Like, can I realistically even mow a part of my grass, every day or every 2 days? I picked a little section and just messed around with it. Then graduated to, I found somebody that was selling like a 10-blade manual so I could get down a little bit lower. And yeah, so I found I had bent grass in the backyard that always looked terrible. And so I was like, well, I'm a golfer. That's kind of what I grew up. I golf as much as I can, not so much anymore with kids, but so I have bent grass. We'll see what happens if we cut it shorter. So I scalped it down, cut it at a half for a while, then got that McLean down to 3/8. And then, in December, I cut it at a quarter, and it's rolling pretty good. And I'm pretty darn excited for spring. Can't get here fast enough. Really.
Dude, how low did you take that putting green, man? I know you took it like super low.
It's at a quarter. The last cut was at a quarter of an inch.
And how long did you keep it like that for? Like, well, were you doing that in the fall or in the spring?
That was in the fall. So I had the McLean set at 3/8, and that's what it spent most of the season at. And then literally I got that Jacobson in like the 1st or 2nd of December. And so I really only got one cut at the quarter, and we'll see. That was probably a terrible idea to send it into winter, cutting it in December and to sit under snow, but that's an experiment too that we can talk about. So when the time comes anyway.
How low does that one you talked about from like Lowe's or Home Depot, how low does it go?
It'll go down to, it says it'll go to a half, and the brackets have a little bit of wiggle room in them. So I think it can go maybe to 3/8, but if you're actually cutting, because of it's light, and with it being 5-blade, it's really cutting at like 3/4. Because then when I set the McLean to a half, it was much shorter. And then when I set the Jacobson to a half, that was even shorter still. So maybe call it 3/4 of an inch.
I would love to cut mine lower, but I got to do, like I said, do some leveling. If I go much lower, I just scalp. So we'll see. I may try that after I level coming up in the spring or early summer.
Yeah,
I had top dressed the green like 4 times.
Yeah.
And you know there's that mod you could do to the HRX too, right? To make it cut even lower than the lowest setting.
I think I've seen that. What is that? Where you?
Yeah, so
The little washers or whatever.
Yeah, Connor Ward has a video on that. Pretty much how it works is you add like extra what is it? Like extra
washers or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot the size, but you can get like a much lower cut, and it's pretty cool. So
Bermuda does not look any better to me than right after you cut it. I'll scalp it 2 or 3 times a year, and then give it a week. That's when it looks the best.
Sweet. How about you, Brian, man? Like I know that you've seen like a massive growth of success here, recently on your YouTube channel, man. What have you learned during your YouTube journey, and like what would you apply for the future? Or any advice to any of the lawn care creators, because we have a lot of creators here in the chat right now. By the way, any of you guys, if you guys are lawn care creators and enjoying this content, if you could hit that like button, we'd much appreciate it.
I'm out there filming so much that my kids, I work from the home, and what with the pandemic these days, all of the kids are home with me, so they see me out there all the time. They kind of know what's going on. I was literally just talking to my son, my 9, he's almost 10 now. In fact, he's like trying to become a YouTube creator himself now, Minecraft.
Sweet.
But anyway, he was talking to his little sister about how he's got like 6 views on his last video. And I was like, Sam, I did this for 2 months, April and May, although I didn't actually really publish anything in May last year. And I published something like 28 videos and had 19 subscribers. So I was like, dude, it's fine. Like in the beginning, nobody's watching anything. And you can just learn. It doesn't matter if you're posting 1 to 2 videos, a month, or 1 to 2 videos a day. So I just kind of learned how to actually make a video and get it online. Really, in the beginning, I wasn't very good. But the thing is, over the course of the summer and into the fall, I really settled into focusing. Like if you go into your analytics as a creator, I don't know how many people are watching this that are not creators, but as a creator, if you go into your analytics, you can segment all of your views and things by traffic source. So for me, it's all about search. Now, I love subscribers. I love all of my subscribers, and I want them to feel like I'm catering to them. But in terms of creating an audience, I'm looking to create the audience from people who are actively searching for information. So I really just settled into this pattern of trying to figure out what people are going to be searching for before they're doing it. And I just start making videos on those topics. And so some of those things have flopped. A lot of those things have performed fine. And then a number of things have performed very, very well. So I would say production quality, like we're talking my phone, I have 100 and almost 160 videos. Every single video was made with this phone. In fact, half of them, I'm not even using a tripod. Like my son broke my tripod in like July. I didn't replace it until last month. So, you don't need to go over the top in production. And then more recently, just to finish this answer, I'm long-winded, sorry, everybody. But
No, I enjoy your feedback.
yeah, the inclusion of B-roll. So, George, you are amazing at making videos look amazing, like and fantastic to watch, just production quality. And honestly, Chris and Jason, you guys are too. I've watched a number of yours, and I swear everyone under the sun makes videos that look better than mine. But I've started trying my absolute best to include as much B-roll clips. So like, I'm talking and then I just put something over the top, something that's relevant and useful. And that to me has made at least the video quality a lot better in my opinion. But I still don't do anything fancy. I have no clue how to make music, and sound effects and all of these things. Like I fiddle at. My son literally like taught me a couple things the other day. So,
Well, you must be doing something right, man. You got more subs than all of us. So, I mean, congratulations to that, dude.
yeah,
And
well, thanks.
and it's just like me and Alan Hain were saying last week. It's not all about the equipment and the gear that you have. Like, yeah, it's nice to have good gear, but at the end of the day, content is king. And
Yeah.
if you
Well,
people come to YouTube to look for answers, not really to watch a movie. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if you could kind of get that point across and talk to them in a straightforward way and, teach them and provide them value, I mean, that's what you're going to see success with here on YouTube.
back in the day, and we're talking like almost a decade ago, I worked on the internet in other way. I haven't done YouTube before, April of last year. But I've always kind of been in this search game. Like, I've made websites and people find them on the web. But I have conversations, small conversations, but I had conversations with Alan Hain before he was on YouTube, or at least before people knew who he was. We're kind of come from that same cloth. In his interview with you last week, he said that he wants to reach those 90 million or something like that, and that's kind of what I want to bring to YouTube. I mean, I don't have 30 years, or he's not that old. I don't have 15, 20 years of experience in lawn care like him, but I want to reach new audiences, bring them into the lawn care community, teach them a thing or two, and then hopefully entertain them a little bit along the way. But I want to reach them.
Nice, man. And when it comes to production quality, Jason, I want to compliment you on your audio. I think you guys have heard it, at least the lawn care creators have heard it, over and over again, but audio is the most important part of video, and I think that's something that you always have good in your video, Jason, is your audio. Are you like a big time audiophile or what?
So I'm actually the primary sound engineer for my church, which is a generous title. It's not like a profession. But I used to dedicate a lot of time to like gaming. I was a big gamer, and then we had my son 6 years ago, and I didn't have time to do that anymore. So I found a new passion. So I actually started YouTube in 2008 doing barbershop quartet multi-tracks, which is
nice,
obscure. But so that's where I started, is actually as a singer recording videos like that. And so
can you sing us something, man?
No.
Well, maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe. You can go. It's Saber Tracks is the channel. Anybody can go find it if you want. I don't post anything on there anymore.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again? No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, so then it got me into mixing music because that was a passion of mine. It's kind of what I spend winter doing, is mixing music. And so yeah, I mean, everything you're hearing in my videos is recorded on my cell phone, which is recording me currently. And then I export the audio portion into a digital audio workstation and then can manipulate it there. So it's de-essers, EQ, compression, and then limiting. So
sweet. Hey, Lawn and Life, you got a fan here in the comments. Mayo Tuck. You want to give him a shout out?
What's Mayo and Tuck?
What's up, Mayo? Yeah, but yeah,
See,
that's cool.
I'm the exact opposite. I mean, and I definitely have a lot of room to improve. You were talking about filming with your phone. I still film with my iPhone 5. I mean, seriously, and then just edit it with an app. And I did purchase a GoPro. I just haven't. I purchased it like 3 months ago. I haven't used it. I'm
Really?
hopefully we'll transition to that in the spring when the new season starts. But I definitely have got to improve with that.
Sweet, sweet. I'm over here in the comments and I see a comment from Matt Dawson, and he's talking about how he has a channel. I haven't checked out his channel yet. Matt, I'm going to check out your channel here after the live stream, bud. Thanks for stopping in and sharing that with us. Appreciate it. Any of you guys seen Matt Dawson?
I've not.
New to me.
I'll check it out. I will definitely check it out.
Yeah, I'm going to check you out after. And then, hey, you got a new subscriber, Turf Mechanic. Stripe him, man.
All right.
Hey, one more closer to that 1 million, brother.
One more.
Sweet, sweet. So, what were you saying? No, go ahead, Jason.
I was just going to say, I think what Brian pointed to is the B-roll. That's the one thing I want to focus the most on. Is I get caught just talking at the camera, and I'll be editing it back, and I just talk to the camera for like 3.5 minutes. Like, you got to break that up somehow, and that's definitely something I want to try to focus on, is being more concise. Because like Chris said, I know what I'm gonna be doing, and I know what I kind of want to talk about, but I'm just winging it, and it usually shows. So yeah, that's good advice, and it's definitely something I want to try to work on as well.
And here's the thing, Jason, that I've learned in YouTube, man. When it comes to content creation, people would rather watch somebody with a half-ass explanation, but like a pretty and fast-paced video with like nice B-roll, than somebody who just gets straight to the point and just keeps talking and tells them how to do something. And I blame that kind of like on the short attention spans here with people lately, with the whole TikTok craze and people just wanting fast form content. And you just have to learn how to mix the two and blend the two. And I think that's something, if we all work on, we'll be able to reach more people for sure.
One thing I've been experimenting with is, I don't know how good I've been doing, but taking that faster, for me, it's all slow, but that faster pace and lots of cuts in the first minute and a half to 2 minutes, because as we all know, that's when the vast majority of a drop off happens. So as a creator, those first couple minutes, I want to change the screen a lot to make it somewhat visually interesting. Because then I get into my monologue later on, like you were saying, Jason.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think
that helps with audience retention. At least I think.
I definitely think first time impressions are everything. If somebody lands on your video, you at least want to entertain them the first minute, because then they'll stay and they'll look forward to more of that entertaining, even if the video falls off a little bit more on the entertaining edge. That intro definitely makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so when it comes to SEO, guys, since we have a lot of creators in the group, what are some specific strategies that you guys have implemented in trying to reach more, like a bigger audience when it comes to lawn care, or that you've seen success with that you could share with the group?
Clustering. You make a cluster of videos on largely the same topic. I mean, not exactly the same, but like I put a whole bunch of videos together on fescue. They're all different, and that's really kind of what brought my channel from a few hundred into the thousands back in the fall.
I remember that when your first video started taking off, bud, you went into the Facebook lawn care creator group.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, guys, I got 400 views in one day. Oh my God. And then I looked at that video a day or two later, and it was 5,000 views. I was like, damn, dude, Turf Mechanic is blowing up. Coming up, Joe. But yeah, man, congrats on that, dude. What would you attribute to the success of that video? Would you say it was the recent interest of people in fescue?
Timely. No, honestly, I think it has more to do with the lack of interest in fescue, the lack of interest in Kentucky 31. So I mean, if you dig into the comments on some of those videos, there's actually a whole bunch of people just slamming the grass type. They're just, comment after comment. This is a pasture grass. It's for horses. Don't ever put that in your lawn. Now, I don't think I ever told anyone to put it in their lawn. But the thing is, people are looking for that information because literally they walk into their department store and they see grass seed there. And if they don't know anything, they just see Kentucky 31 tall fescue. And the thing is, in the lawn care community, certainly, this type of community that we've got here, nobody puts Kentucky 31 in their grass, and nobody, I mean, it's a horse grass. So nobody's making videos on it, but yet there's people out there that see it in like their local farm store or their local Walmart, and they wonder, oh, should I put it down? So literally just, I think getting the material out before people are searching for it, because people seed in the fall, and in the spring to some extent. But if they seed in the fall, if you have that video ready for them before they're ready for it, and it's on a topic that isn't sexy, there's not a lot of competition. So the same thing with the fine fescues. So like I made a handful of videos on the fine fescues. If you literally search YouTube for any information on creeping red or hard fescue or sheep's fescue, there's very little content. So literally just making something puts you right at the top. And that's what I get at when I say I'm looking to expand the net. I want to bring more people in, and
Sweet.
that's how you do it. You hit those topics that nobody's talking about.
Nice. Real quick, I want to give a super special shout out to, oh, wrong one. Nice as lawn. What's up, Francis? Thanks for stopping by, dude. Dude, Francis is an awesome guy, man. He started off this whole podcast thing. He was my first guest, and I really appreciate that, Francis. Kind of inspired me and motivated me to keep going with this thing. You were an awesome guest, man.
His lawn's looking really good right now, too. He posted some pictures over on Instagram today. It's looking good.
He's got that perennial ryegrass now, right?
Oh, yeah. Me and him, he's a really nice guy. We talked on the phone about a month ago because, he's transitioned back and forth from perennial rye to Bermuda for many years. And we had a good conversation about some tips on how to do that here in Alabama for me.
Hey, man, if anyone knows how to grow a nice lawn, it's definitely him, man. So I would listen to anything he says.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to give a shout out to Growing with Greg as well. Thanks for stopping by, Greg. Appreciate that. Hey, fellows, we got a question here from an aspiring YouTube. Well, actually, he is a YouTuber. Andy's Lawn Care and Outdoor Adventures. What's up, Andy? Thanks for stopping by, buddy. So he wants to know any of your goals for 2021. Any of you guys got any big goals going on?
Too many little ones.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say I'm still in the search for 1,000, so that's goal number one. I'd like to continue to grow from. So 2020 was my second year. 2019 was. 2019 was a year of like a lesson in starting YouTube, and people might not watch your videos. So I started in March. At the end of 2019, I think I had like 67 subscribers. And then 2020, this last year, took off pretty well. So
hey, real quick, Jason, don't be too humble, man. I've seen your leveling video that you did with the DIY drag mat. Dude, how did you feel when that thing blew up?
Well, so kind of funny story. So I was trying to make fun of myself in that video. So I called out the Lawn Tools drag and Connor Ward's drag, and said, like, I don't know anyone who welds, and I don't weld, and I feel uncomfortable and weird to ask somebody because I don't have anyone in my circle. And like when that first took off, everyone was like, man, I can't believe you're trashing these guys and all that. So I was like, oh no. So that was the video that took off. But yeah, that's awesome. It's that one, and I have the DeWalt 20 volt trimmer, and it's got a head on it that if you look on how to fix it, change it, replace it, it's all another head. And so I had to go to like some deep forum somewhere that I found after like an hour to do it. And I made a video, and that one has taken off as well. To Brian's point on make a video that no one's made. That's support for that point as well.
And that was exactly what I did with my first video, man. It was about T-Jet nozzles, and nobody really made a video. if it worked with, specific sprayers and what adapters you need, or if you even needed adapters. And that first video kind of took off because it was like a video that no one made. But back to your leveling, man, because, leveling is a hot topic in the lawn community. I'm obsessed with it. Like I always like to do it every season. I know Chris is going to start getting into it here pretty soon. How did that drag mat work, man? Because when I saw it, I'll be honest with you, I was a little skeptical looking at it. And man, that looked like a lot of hard work.
Oh yeah, so I don't have anything to pull it with, so I'm just pulling that myself, and it probably weighs 80 pounds, 70, 80 pounds, something like that. It's 4x8 of dimensional lumber, so it's heavy. Like I laugh at everyone that's like, you should throw some cinder blocks on there to get some weight on it. It's like, no. But it works well if the soil's dry and loose. And I did a top dressing project in the backyard with screen topsoil, and it worked really well with that too. This last spring, I tilled that area when it was wet and it was useless. So in that type of situation, it doesn't work. But for what it is, it works pretty well.
Real quick, I want to give a special announcement on the live stream. We got Andy's Lawn Care and Outdoor Adventures and Nice Ass Lawn, who are hoping to hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you guys want to see two awesome channels, make sure you go check them out. Andy's over here close to me in Illinois, and then Nice Ass Lawn has one of the nicest lawns on YouTube, hands down. So if you guys want to go check out their channels, go subscribe. But, subscribe if you're going to watch. Don't just subscribe just to subscribe. But they got two awesome channels, so make sure you guys go over there, and hopefully we'll see them hit 1K pretty soon. Hopefully, that's the whole thing with the lawn, Like I was saying on my previous podcast, like I don't have a big reach, man. But whatever reach that I do have, I'm happy to share it with anybody, So hopefully we can all grow together. But yeah, man, do you have like any type of ATV or anything like that, Jason?
Nope. No.
No.
The strongest piece of equipment I would have is that Gravely commercial walk behind that I have.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw you purchased that recently, man. That looks like a pretty old piece of equipment. How old is that thing?
Best I can tell, it's like 2002, 2003, something like that. So like I said, I started with a 21-inch, and it was miserable. I like mowing the lawn. I have for a long time. That was suffering. So to get a mower that's the right size, I went from 2 hours to about 45 minutes to cut the whole yard. And I absolutely love that thing because I like walking. I don't want to sit on a mower. I want to be out there walking around, and it allows me to keep doing that. I'm just hoping it doesn't break down because replacing those is like a new one of those like $7,000. I managed to stumble on that for $600, and the guy trailered it to me. So,
nice. And how about you, Chris? What would you say is your not Andy was talking about how he likes making equipment reviews and everything like that. Actually, he said he likes making equipment reviews, but he doesn't have a lot of equipment.
Yeah.
But how about you, man? What's your favorite piece of equipment you have?
Well, up until this past year, I finally upgraded to a backpack blower. I had about a 10, 12-year-old Poulan Pro, just a handheld, blower. It was a piece. God, it was a piece. I used to get so mad trying to get that thing cranked. So, I love my self-propelled mower, but I'm really liking that. It's the Husqvarna backpack blower. So that was life-changing for me.
What's the CFM on that blower? Do you know?
I think it was 450, if I remember right. So it was not their highest end, but it gets the job done for me.
Do any of you guys have the Toro leaf blower, the battery one, or no?
Yeah.
I almost got it.
Brian, that was you, Brian, right? That did that test between like all the blowers to see which one was like the most strong?
Yeah, actually, that's one of my videos that's done particularly well. It's kind of going under the radar a little bit, but I compared 5 battery blowers. Like I literally went out and bought 5 battery blowers and just kind of compared them all against each other. I think it was Ego and Toro and Sunjo and Greenworks and one other one.
And Toro performed the best, right? And I know you're not sponsored.
No, I'm not sponsored by Toro at all. I have never gotten anything valued more than about $50 from anyone ever. So everything on my channel, basically, I buy. No, Toro, from the way that I tested it is I took a kitchen scale, a digital kitchen scale. Now, there's tons of ways to test these things. But I just put a digital kitchen scale on the ground, And then I took every blower about an inch off of the scale and blew it on the turbo mode, or at least the highest mode possible, straight into the kitchen scale to see what number I could get it up to. And then I'd also crank them down to the lowest possible setting to see what smallest number I could get. And then I have got a little decibel meter here, and I ran some tests on decibel readings on the various things. But that video's done really well. And I mean, it's surprised me that it's continuing to get views. Like, we're talking every single day, it's still getting enough views for me to be quite happy about it. I figured it would just die in the middle of the winter, because who's buying snowblowers in January? But apparently people are still searching for it.
I agree. That's one of my highest viewed videos the last, I'd say, month. You can tell we're getting closer to lawn season, because I can look back to videos I made last summer that haven't been getting any comments, and they're starting to shoot back up.
Yeah, me too.
That's some other advice. If you're starting a channel now, don't get discouraged by a lack of views right now. Everybody's your fist to shoot up.
Yeah. Some of the first videos, the first main video series that I did back in June, when nobody was watching much, I had like 20 subscribers in June. I made a whole series of videos on battery lawnmowers. And these are totally those talking heads where there was no B-roll, nothing, like, just boring information only. And they got very few views, but now I can already see that they're starting to come back. So yeah, that's a great point for anyone new or starting, or, sitting around like 100, 200 subscribers. Make that video now. You might not get the views now, but you might get it next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that was my journey. I had nobody watch really anything 2019, and then 2020 it just took off. Which nobody tells you the September just cliff that viewership falls off. My word.
Yeah.
It goes to just nothing.
In September that happened?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
September, and then October, November, it was like I had almost nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that like the viewers stopped like in the summertime, but then they ramped up more towards the fall time. But
and it's probably content driven too. But
yeah,
about
probably
a
because I was doing
period
a fall lawn renovation. That's why I was seeing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was about a 6-week period there in the middle of the summer. And again, this is just because we're freshmen, novices here. Like, I didn't know what the drop off. I didn't expect to drop off in the summer, but it was definitely there. But yeah, for me, by November, everything really started tanking hard. So you got to kind of expect that as a creator. And, that's where you have to, be strong-willed and just say, okay, I'm jumping in the deep wind. I can't get out of the pool until I get to the other side of winter. So
I'm really excited, guys, for this 2021 season that's coming up. Are any of you guys going to be seeding this spring?
I'm going to be doing some.
Yeah? What are you going to be throwing down, Jason?
I'm going to be finishing out the Kentucky Bluegrass renovation in the front. It's the Seed Superstore Kentucky Bluegrass mix, which looks incredible. And then my side yard is so rolling that I can't cut it below like 3 inches with the Gravely or it scalps. So I'm going to top dress that and then seed that as well.
Sweet.
I will not be overseeding.
No, real quick, I want to give
Bermuda. No.
I want to give a super special shout out to Oli. He's going to be coming on the podcast next week with the rest of the KOTG podcast. So if you guys want to look forward to that, you guys will see them there. What's up, Oli? Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Appreciate it.
Talking about a nice lawn, man. He's got about the most picturesque lawn you can have.
Yeah, those aerial shots of his tall fescue are phenomenal, man. Yeah, and I'm excited to learn more about it, man. I mean, I remember on his podcast, he was talking about the CECs and all sorts of stuff. So I'm excited to learn more about his process and what he does in his lawn next week. So get ready, Oli. I'm excited to learn, man. Yeah, man, that's cool. I was going to ask you, Chris, you have Bermuda. Is it? I heard from somewhere that like it's hard to overseed Bermuda. Is that what it is? Or
yeah, unless you know 100% what kind of Bermuda you have, you don't want to overseed. There's so many different varieties. I guess we're all part of a lot of lawn care Facebook groups. I hear people say that all the time. Hey, you need to overseed that Bermuda. You don't need to do that. I mean, if you cut regularly, fertilize properly, and just cut, generally it will fill in. You don't want to overseed Bermuda unless you know 100% what kind of Bermuda you have.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. I'm always trying to learn more about warm season lawns. So thanks
You're
for
talking overseeding Bermuda with Bermuda?
Yes, like y'all overseed your KBG and your fescue every year. You don't want to do that. Our main growing season starts around May, and you do not want to overseed, in the springtime with Bermuda.
So, guys, I don't want to get too product-y on the podcast, but I am trying to get my fertilizers and my applications and things ready. So what are some? Tell me what are some products you guys have had a lot of success with this season? Because me, man, I'm kind of like a classic guy. If you notice in my videos, I don't throw down a lot of boutique fertilizer or anything, so I'm not really in the know with all this stuff. I'm kind of like a Scots guy, to be honest with you, most of the time. But what are some good products that you guys have tried this year and that you're going to be using next year?
And I feel like a moment of silence for Carbon X.
Everybody's going to say that. Everybody's going to say that.
I know everybody loved the Carbon X. You guys
phenomenal.
all used it?
It hits different. It was just different.
God,
I never used it.
Well, Alan's going to have his.
Wait, Alan said last week
we'll
that Matt, I don't know if Matt's still in the chat or not, if he wants to chime in, but Alan was saying in the last week's podcast that he's going to have a limited release of some Carbon X or something like that coming up. Matt, if you're still in the podcast, tell us, man, what's the deal with the re-release of the Carbon X? Sorry to cut you off, Chris.
No, that's no problem. Yeah, man. And then Alan said he's going to have his own, I guess, version. What is he calling it? CX or something like that. I can't remember what he called it on your podcast last week. So I try to buy mostly from my local hardware stores. I still buy some Yard Mastery stuff online, but I am intrigued by that line of Yard Mastery products, especially that Double Dark and they're coming out with. So I want to try at least some of those products this year.
Yeah, I like that stuff, and I'm looking forward to it. One thing to George, to your point, I feel like one thing I've tried to do lately is kind of relax the amount of this is the greatest fertilizer content that's out there, because I mean the results I had in the side yard using Home Depot's knockoff brand and Spectracide weed killer and a generic 10-10-10 were pretty darn close to anything else I've used. So I think that's always a point worth making, is if you know what your soil needs, get that, and it doesn't really matter. It's just you can get a little bit more with some of the boutique type stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point. Sometimes just the cheap store stuff can work just fine.
Absolutely.
I know you've been using a lot of you've been testing a lot of different products, Turf Mechanic. What's been good working out for you good? What do you like using?
Well, okay, so I got one thing that I've been using that I've liked quite a bit. It's an aeration product from ChemWise. I featured in a handful of my videos. I have the Aerate product, but I've liked the ChemWise stuff a lot. I did literally just this week over on the Yard Mastery site pick up I can't remember what it's called, Cytogrow C Extra. Which is from the Hydrochain line. Yeah, Ecologel. I'm excited to try that for a couple reasons. For one, it's kind of, it's different, but it's kind of like the RGS product. It's supposed to really kind of help stimulate root growth. For me, I'm constantly, since I've started my channel, really, I'm constantly thinking about root growth, my grass. And getting thatch layers dealt with. But this Cytogrow stuff, this is only going to apply to a couple people. I can't buy RGS anymore. They won't ship to the state of Oregon. So last year I picked up some. They could ship it, but some law somewhere says I can't get the stuff. So this looked like a pretty good alternative. I'm excited to give that a try. I'm also really looking forward to it's another one of those things. I like getting into things that other people don't do. I want to throw down some corn gluten meal this year.
Everybody is talking about that right now as a pre-emergent.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm going to use it as a summer organic, slow release fertilizer, kind of like, say, for instance, a Milorganite. It's going to slowly break down biologically speaking, but it doesn't have phosphorus in it like Milorganite does, and okay, it doesn't have a weed preventer. It doesn't have a pre-emergent in it, but it's got a protein. It's like a natural protein that exists in corn gluten meal that dehydrates baby root systems. So for those later season grassy weeds that pop up, it should, so long as you're not like overwatering your lawn, it should provide just a little bit of pre-emergent protection through the summer. Basically, it's an organic fertilizer that will stunt the growth of some extra weeds. I'm excited to try that. There's a bunch of different brands out there, so I haven't decided which brand I'm going to use.
What I'm starting to see more of, especially over on Instagram, is that, and I haven't tried it. Is it Claris Choice? I think I saw that in the comments. The CLARUS Choice. Have y'all used that yet? Does it work well?
What's it called again?
Claris, CLARUS Choice. Claris. I think Oli uses it a lot. Oli, you still here?
Have you guys seen? Oli was posting some products up here that I saw him mentioning. Do you guys remember exactly what they were? Was that one of them? I don't know. I think I lost that comment. Because whatever he's throwing down, I want to throw down. I know that for sure.
And Pro Pete too.
Hey, let me ask you, Jason. What have you been using to fertilize your putting green?
I've just given it what I was doing in the backyard, which is it was all a carbon earth and then Green County fertilizer kind of hybrid program, and then I was supplementing in between the major applications with I picked up 402 actually in an effort to save all my pine trees are dying of disease, and so I was putting that down as kind of an intermediate spoon feed as well.
Sweet.
You put down. Let me ask you something, Jason. Do you put down a growth regulator for those greens?
I have not. I do want to experiment with that because I've cleared out about, well, it was probably a 2,000 square foot section behind the putting green, and then I've cleared out probably another 3,000 square feet of just like buckthorn and stuff that just took over the yard because it was so overgrown. And so I'm going to try to reel mow that as a hitting area, like as fairway to hit up to the green. And I'm going to try to experiment with PGR back there. So we'll see how that goes.
Cool.
But no experience. No, I was just cutting it literally every day. So go out there, sweep the worm castings off so that all my neighbors think I'm weird out there brooming my yard every morning, and then cut it.
I literally just swept worm castings into my yard about a week and a half ago.
Isn't that ironic?
Trying to knock them down, I guess.
Just gather them up and ship them to me. Those things are expensive.
What were you saying, Chris?
That slow-mo, I think Bio Advanced makes it their version of a growth regulator. I think Sonny used it last summer before he went on vacation.
I think I've seen the doc using it too.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of PGR is actually in that slow-mo granular, but I think that would be cool for people that are maybe just getting into it and want to experiment with it.
I've never used it, so I definitely want to start out with something simple like that. I want to try to get my lawn a little thicker, so I know that can help thicken it up some.
Yeah, I love the PGR, man. I always throw it down, man. Every month I'm throwing some down. But, it's some dangerous stuff, man. I said it before in my podcast. It burned through a Solo cup that I had in the garage. So.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of solvents they put in it, man. But, it has some kind of solvent in it. I'll tell you that for sure because it's got some burning properties. Let's just say that.
So rinse the sprayer well is what you're trying to tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I got a small lawn, so I don't need to buy a whole gallon. So I usually just, if you guys want to experiment with it but don't want to drop hundreds of dollars on a bottle, if you go on eBay, there's guys who cut it down into like smaller bottles, like those little ketchup bottles at like restaurants, the plastic ones. They'll sell you a bottle of that for like $20-$30. So if you want to experiment with it, that's a lot cheaper. At least Alan was saying he was trying to get the smaller ones on his website, but we'll see about that. Around the house, what Pat said, George, there's nothing wrong with Scouts. Have you? Yeah, no, I agree with you. I know Pat, he's had the best lawn on the block for 35 years, so he must be doing something right. Have you guys checked out Pat's channel yet?
What's his channel name?
Around the House with Pat. He's got some good content, man. He just picked up a swordman.
That's one of my
I haven't
favorite
seen
things
that.
about
I don't think
this
I have.
podcast.
And yeah, and Super TA, yeah, you said T-Nex needs to sell smaller packs of PGR. I agree, but if you go on eBay, you can go ahead and pick that up, man, at least for now. And I bought it from, there's only one seller, and I bought it from him, and it's legit. Like, he's not scamming anybody, so I can attest to him selling that product on there if you want to pick up a small bottle. But yeah, so what do you guys, any big things to watch out on your guys' channel in 2021?
I might be bringing a truckload of worm castings in. I might. A cubic yard, very pricey. I might not. That might happen.
I'll have to start. The putting green is quite literally covered in them every morning, so I'll have to start sweeping them into a box and ship them out there to you.
Jason, have you seen how the professionals get rid of the worm castings on the golf courses?
I haven't really found anything. I know they have those whips, but I think they may just literally run the mower over it.
And they use chains too.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah, like these like whipping chains, and forgot what video I
drag
saw.
it over.
Yeah, they attach the chain to like the middle of the green, and then they drag it over. Yeah, they drag it like in a radius, and it like kind of scoops them up. Me personally, to get rid of worm castings, I find that if I just let them dry out, then I just rake them a little bit just to break them up off the ground, and then it turns out good, you know. But if you leave them there and it's wet and you roll over them with that reel mower, man, you're gonna have some bare spots in your lawn real quick.
That's true. That's true. I don't reel mow, so I don't have that problem.
Yeah, it's like chocolate patties getting squished on your lawn. And that's a big reason why I did a renovation. I wanted to do the KBG too, because I had like mostly perennial ryegrass in my last lawn, and it was just getting really thin really quick, especially with the reel mowing. So, but yeah, how about you, Jason? What you doing in 2021? I know you got some big plans. You know, you said you were doing a revamp of the channel. What else?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing for me and what I'm most excited about is really driving home like a low cost. So basically, I've tried to start last fall talking about price per application, and then John Perry came out and started doing that as well. But including that kind of information and figuring out how much the program that you're going to run will potentially cost you for budgeting. So like I said, at my brother-in-law's house, they do not take care of the yard at all, haven't ever. And we're going to spend $100 on a 4,000 square foot yard. And hopefully I think, cause I did it in the side yard, make it probably the best yard in that neighborhood, and try to give like that really beginner introduction into the yard. And then for the people that are a little bit more serious, you know, I've done a fair bit of research on like putting green construction, and you know, going from, do you just want a chipping area that you do at a 1/2 inch with the Great States, all the way through getting a real like greens mower and taking it down. You know, I want to get down to greens height, so you know, 0.15, you know, real putting green, a actual practice facility that I can use when I can't get to a golf course with the little ones. So
Dude, it sounds like you got your plate full, man. I think that's going to be some good content too, you know, because I feel like this year, with the influx of people getting into lawn care and the people that are going to get into real mowing, man, you're going to have some good content for those new people. So if you guys land on this video, make sure you go check out Jason SEIBERLICH if you're into the whole real mowing thing or just lawn care in general. And then, oh yeah, dude, definitely, man. But yeah, how about you guys, 2021?
Me, like we talked about a little bit earlier, my big project this year is going to be leveling. I'm going to be doing it. I don't have any machines, or I mean, like I said, I only have 2,500 square feet, so I'll be doing it all by hand. So hopefully that doesn't kill me. I want to try to go a little bit lower cutting this year, and I got a couple project lawns. My brother's house, you talked about your brother-in-law. My brother's house, we started it last year, and then I'm taking on my parents' lawn, I put a little bit of work in last year. They have Dallas grass all in their yard, so I'm working on getting that under control. And those would be 2 lawns that I'll be taking on to try to get looking good.
Sweet, sweet. All right, guys. I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap up here. I really do appreciate everyone stopping by the podcast this week. If Brian, can you tell them where to find you? Any viewers that stop by?
Yeah. I'm just I'm on the Turf Mechanic YouTube channel. I run turfmechanic.com. You can find me on Instagram, although I'm not very good at Instagram, but I am. What am I? I don't even know my name.
Brian D. Mounts.
Now B mounts all day with little underscores. I mean, there's links to it on my videos, I guess, or on my YouTube channel. Just hit the YouTube channel up.
Sweet, sweet. How about you, Jason?
Jason Cyberlick on pretty much everything. So YouTube channel is just my name, Jason Cyberlick. Instagram, same thing. Twitter, J Cyberlick, and Facebook as well. So.
Yes, and that's Jason Cyberlick, not SEIBERLICH or anything like that.
That's a lesson. That's a lesson to learn too. Is don't make a channel in your name if nobody can pronounce it. If you look at all the successful channels in their name, it's like 3-4 syllables max, and it's Jimmy Lewis, Connor Ward, Ryan Knorr. So definitely make it a channel name.
That's funny, man. And then how about you, Chris?
It's the Lawn and Life, Instagram, over on YouTube, and then I think I have a Facebook too, but I don't really get a ton of traffic over there. So Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, the Lawn and Life.
Sweet, sweet. If you guys enjoyed these stories from these gentlemen here, if anybody watching this last minute people could drop a like for us, that'd be much appreciated. Helps all of us reach more people in the algorithm. So some of the more people that are getting into lawn care could learn more about their stories coming up here and, get some more exposure. That'd be awesome. And then real quick, I want to give a super special shout out to Grace Ortiz. She's a little late, but that's all right, Grace. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Grace is the best.
And then with that, I do want to remind you guys, next week we will have the KOTG podcast on here. It'll be a crossover episode of Freshman Class / Keep Off the Grass. Hey, man, that has a ring to it. How about that? Freshman Class, Keep Off the Grass. Yeah. But yeah, I look forward to chilling with those guys.
They need to add a few more people on their podcast.
Yeah, I think they are going to be adding more people actually, or having more guests on or something like that. Oh, wait. Was that sarcastic? No, I'm just kidding. No, it's hard to keep up even with 4 people. I don't know how they do it with so many people, but they got a good crew over there, a bunch of good guys, and I look forward to having some of the guys on, and we can learn more about their adventures, how they started that, and their plans too for 2021. So with that, I do want to thank everybody for stopping by. If you guys want to check out any of their episodes, make sure you check it out. I got links in the description. You could see their channels and, check them out. And with that, this is George. Take care, guys. Peace.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.